What's going on, casters? Today we're going to go over my first ever deck build, and that is Turbo Ohmperial. Alright, so we're going to start off with our boss monster here, Ohmperial, who is a 3-drop, 8 attack, 12 defense, and he says this Ohmperial gets +1 attack for each thunder in your spirit deck. You can expend 1 thunder in order to target and destroy a card. So, absolutely amazing card. He can get very, very big. I love this card, and he's the boss monster. There's not much more to say other than that. You just need 1. If you're not having as much luck as I've been having recently, then I definitely understand bumping it up. You can definitely bump it up. But I only really recommend, or I at least recommend testing it at 1 first, and then kind of progressing it as you see needed. But then that is our only 3-drop. We then move on to our 2-drops, which we run 3 of Signetric. It is our 2-drop, 4 attack, 6 defense. It says you can reveal 12 thunder from your spirit deck in order to special ascend this Signetric to Ohmperial from your hand or deck. Now that's important because you only have 20 spirits in your spirit deck, so you want to get this as early as possible. So to me, it only makes sense to make a turbo version or a fast version of getting either this guy or this guy on the field. That way you can get to your Ohmperial. So running this at 3 seems incredibly like a no-brainer to me. You can try running it other ways, but I definitely recommend testing it out at 3 because you definitely want to see this guy because you're only running 1 of the Ohmperial. So you want to see him as early as possible, and you want to be able to get that 12 spirit reveal so that you can jump into him as soon as possible. So then we run 1 Sonicore. It is a 2-drop, 7 attack, 2 defense. This Sonicore's cast cannot be chained by counter runes. As long as this Sonicore is in attack position, players cannot cast counter runes. So what this is more or less just protection, because this does affect our counter runes as well. So this is mainly just for protection once you've already gotten your Ohmperial Turbo play out there. This is just a way to kind of protect him other than that, or to protect him beforehand. If you can manage to get him off and still recycle enough Thunder Spirits to get him and Ohmperial out, that's amazing too, because then he's added protection for when you cast him as well. So then we have 1 Gotcha Bolt. So we run 1 Gotcha Bolt as a 2-drop, 8 attack. That 8 attack is very important because we don't have a lot of attack in our hires. We've got 8 starting out here, which he does get bigger, of course. And then that 8 for a 2-drop is very, very good. He's got 3 defense, and he says you can target a Thunder Enchanted Elestral and give it +1 attack and +1 defense for each Thunder Enchanting this Gotcha Bolt until the end phase. So basically each turn you can just, without paying a cost, you can just target another Elestral that has Thunder, and then for every Thunder that Gotcha Bolt has, it gets pluses. So it's very important that we play these 2 because they don't cost you anything. You want to keep the cost as minimal as possible because you want a large spirit stack. So, and that's going to be the main more boss type monsters. Now we're moving on to just the 1-drops, which we'll move on to the most important 1-drop in your entire deck, being Quackle. Quackle is our 1-drop, 2 attack, 3 defense. When you cast this Quackle, you can return up to 3 thunder from your underworld to your spirit deck. So this is your recycling ability here. So this is one of the most important cards you will have in your entire deck. I cannot stress that enough because you will run through your thunders, and this is going to be able to help you recycle those and get stronger attacks, get better abilities, things of that nature. And then we run 2 Astrabit, We run 2 of this guy. He's a 1-drop, 2 attack, 5 defense. When this Ash Rabbit receives 1 or more thunder, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck and then add 1 of them to your hand, shuffle the rest back into your deck. So this is more or less like a Graceful Charity or a, I think it's Pot of Duality in Yu-Gi-Oh! Very, very good. Probably the best draw power in the deck because it just lets you get any card from the 3 that you see. So very, very good there. You could definitely bump him up as well if you think you need to. I don't think I need to. I think 2 is perfectly fine. You definitely want 3 in the Quackle because he is the most important, and then the other cards at 2 are very important, but not as important as Quackles because you want to see the Quackles. Then we run 2 Elechick because this is more draw power. These next few cards are going to be draw power. So it's a 1-drop, 4 attack, which is actually very good for a 1-drop, and then 1 defense. When you normal cast this Elechick, you can search your deck for a Divine Ruin and add it to your hand. So this is going to get you your Zeus. This is going to get you, it's going to thin your deck and get you your Divine God card so that you can continue your plays and start pumping things into like your Ash Rabbit or whatever else. This is going to help you dig into your deck and get some of your plays going as fast as possible. Then we run 2 Jolton. Jolton is our 1-drop, 4 attack again, very good. 2 defense. When you normal cast this Jolton, you can search your deck for a Stadium Ruin and add it to your hand. So this is going to get you your Stadium card, bumping up your creatures and giving you something that can give an added spirit to your Ash Rabbits as well. And that's going to be our main draw power and recycling abilities. Now we're going to move on to the more hindrance cards, the cards that are going to annoy your opponent, such as Riceros. We run 2 Riceros, 1-drop, 2 attack, 4 defense, which is pretty good. As long as this card remains enchanted, Elestrals cannot attack the turn they are cast unless they are Thunder Enchanted. So this is going to help you, especially turn 1, things like that. You put him out, and then you basically have a free turn as far as their turn 1, things of that nature. This basically gives your opponent summoning sickness unless they're playing thunder creatures as well. Then we run 2 Sparkit. 4 attack, again, very good, 1-drop, 1 defense. You can Nexus up to 2 thunder. When you do, you can look at an opponent's hand and discard a card from it. So this is going to be very annoying to your opponent because not only are you getting to move around some of your thunder spirits, but you're also getting to remove a card from their hand, which is actually very annoying in any card game. So very, very annoying there. It's going to be super awesome when you pull that off. And for our last creature here, we run 2 Boom Bat. It's a 1-drop, 2 attack, 1 defense. I'm not really too worried about that because this is more or less a spell card rather than a creature. You can disenchant 1 thunder from this Boom Bat in order to target and destroy an opponent's Elestral. So this is more or less a 1-drop Earthquake. So very, very good there. These are going to be your annoying cards for your opponent, the destruction, your hand destruction, and your summoning sickness creators there. Now on to the ruins. We run 2 Zeus as our Divine Ruin. When you cast this Zeus, it's a 1-drop as well, sorry. When you cast this Zeus, you can enchant up to 3 thunder to it. You can disenchant 1 thunder from this Zeus in order to target an opponent's Celestial and give it -3 attack and -3 defense until the end of the turn. So that's going to be very, very good, especially with our sometimes lower attack than normal. It's going to be very, very good to have him out on the field to help you with those numbers. And then speaking of numbers, we're going to go into our Stadium card next, which is Mount Olympus. We're going to run 2 Mount Olympus, 1-drop. Elestrials get +1 attack and +1 defense for each thunder enchanting them. So this is definitely going to be pumping up our Ohmperial amongst other cards as well. It's going to be very, very useful, very handy indeed. Now continuing on with this number game, we're going to have 2 artifacts of the Thunderbolt of Zeus. It's going to be our 2-drop The empowered Elestral gets +2 attack. When the empowered Elestral destroys an opponent's Elestral in battle, that opponent must expend a spirit of any type. If Zeus is enchanted, the opponent must expend 2 spirit of any type instead. So not only is this going to give us numbers, this is going to hinder our opponent's spirit deck as well. Now moving on to our next 2-drop, we're going to run a 2 Thunderstorm, which is target and destroy a ruin. So if your opponent has a ruin heavy deck, then you can get rid of some of those. If they got a ruin face down, you can get rid of those face downs. Very, very good. Now that's gonna be it for our Thunder Ruins. Now we're gonna move on to the ruins of any color. Not sure what that is, a rainbow ruin, I guess. We're gonna start off with the all-powerful 3 copies of Nectar of the Gods. Nectar of the Gods is for 2 spirits of any color, you draw 2 cards. Very, very good. Absolutely amazing. Drawing cards is the name of the game, especially in a turbo deck. Then we're going to run 1 Circle the Sky, which is a 1-drop. Nexus up to 2 spirits of any color. If you do, you can draw a card. Next up is going to be Ambrosia, because recycling is also very important, as I stressed earlier with our Quackle. Recycling is very important. It's going to be a 1-drop of any color. Return up to 3 spirits of any color from your underworld to your spirit deck. And next we're going to have a 3-drop of Rise from the Ashes. Rise from the Ashes is important because we do only run the 1 copy of Ohmperial, sorry. And if it happens to be destroyed or countered upon summon, then we have Rise from the Ashes to bring us back our game winner. Now onto our counter cards. We're going to be running 2 Shield of Achilles. Shield of Achilles is a 1-drop. This Shield of Achilles can only be cast after an opponent's Celestial declares an attack. Expend 1 spirit of any color equal to that Elestrial's enchantment cost in order to negate that attack and return that Elestral to their hand. So that's going to be very important. A lot of protection could be needed in these early turns. So you want to make sure that you have some protection out there, and Shield of Achilles is one of my all-time favorite protection cards. Speaking of early turns, Pandora's Box, one of the best cards to come out of any of these starter decks. Absolutely amazing card, and I cannot wait to get this in holo. I hope it comes in holo. I'm not even 100% sure about that, but I really, really want this card in holo because this is one of my favorite cards. It's so amazing. When you hear this effect, you're going to fully agree. It's a 2-drop of any color. It says, this Pandora's Box can only be cast when an opponent activates an effect that searches or casts a card from their deck. Negate that effect, and that opponent must send the top 2 cards from their deck to their underworld. So not only do you negate their effect of what they're trying to do, one of their main effects such as searching the deck or casting from the deck, you're also sacking 2 cards from the top of their deck. Absolutely nutty card. So good. And then last up, we're going to be running Poison Tipped Arrow, because Poison Tipped Arrow is kind of sort of like an Earthquake as well, just takes a little bit longer with some added effects. So it's a 1-drop. This Poison Tipped Arrow can only be cast when an opponent casts an Elestral. Target and give it -2 attack until the end phase. During this turn's end phase, you can expend 1 spirit of any color equal to its enchantment cost in order to destroy it. Alright, and next up we have our spirit deck, and our spirit deck is oh so simple. We are just running 20 copies of Zaptor. Zaptor, the best Elestral spirit in the game. At me. Alright, so that's going to be our Ohmperial Turbo deck. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, hit that like button. And if you want to know more about Elestrals or are curious as to what all is going to be happening in the future of Elestrals, Go to Elestrals.com and check them out, or go to their YouTube where you can check out the latest news and information there as well. And as always, have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.